Hiya guys, how are we? Ian here. Um, I am looking very hot and flustered. Had a bit of a day. Had a doctor's appointment, hospital appointment. Sorry, this morning, late. Yeah, into early afternoon, lunchtime. Um, kind of 6 monthly MRI, bloods, check different parts of the brain, and I suppose I found it, but apparently they did find it. And I can't really go into the gritty details of what my the consultant I saw. My consultant has gone for a better paid job abroad, which just about sums up this country, doesn't it? But anyway, I I saw this other doctor. Well, actually, three of them. Um, Two consultants and a junior consultant. Um, and like I say, I'm not going to go into the gritty gritties, but obviously, I've got Katrina to think of. Sort of need to speak to her first and tell her um, the state of play, and then we can go from there. Suffice to say, I'm not very well, um, but is what it is. um, you know, Mental health's been taking a bit of a hit recently, as my life's gone back to how it was, sort of weekends with Cat, and having the week to myself. So that's taken a couple of weeks to readjust. As you can imagine, carers as well. And I started to get used to carers, and just as I get used to carers, they leave. It's getting ridiculous now. But it is what it is. If, of course, if there's better paid jobs out there, of course they're going to go for it. They don't want to be cleaning out a 54-year-old's ass. Completely honest. And anyway, we all know where I stand on the younger members of the carer society, and just lack of experience and lack of life, and makes me feel very subconscious with personal care, because I see with my body changed so much as it has. I'm very got lumps and bumps everywhere. I guess I'll always be a big guy. Sort of even when I was sort of kind of about around 19 or 20, I suppose, is when I really kind of like exploded and grew outward and up. So and I still got that frame. So hopefully all my clothes will still fit me when we go to London in September for my birthday, which is coming up now. I cannot tell you how excited I am for London. Yeah, when I spoke to Kat earlier, I did say to her that now it's time to make memories, and we've kind of discussed there's something between us that obviously can't really talk to anyone else out about really until we've kind of like decided on whether it'll work or how it'll work. Now you're all intrigued. I know you're all going, "What are they talking? What's he talking about? What's he talking about?" Um, it's something to do with me and Kat. Obviously, and it's just special to us. Don't worry, we're not getting married before you all get panicky. That's not what we're planning. So don't panic. She's not moving in, so don't panic. I'm okay. I'm okay. Okay, life's just normal, Monday to Friday, and then um, and then I have her at the weekends. Apart from this weekend, because she's got babysitting. She's got grandchildren. For Jade, so that'll be nice. I think she's. The problem is, Kat is. I can't explain to you how ill my fiance is. I mean, she is. I'm the one that sits her cry at 3 o'clock in the morning because she's in so much pain. Nobody else says that. I see that. and it makes me cross, when people kind of just look at her and make an assumption, just think she's milking it, and oh, she must be in it for the benefits. And yeah, they like I say, they're not there at 3 o'clock in the morning, stroking her hair and telling her, I'm so sorry, but I can't do anything. Um, I did suggest I get a tattoo gun and start doing some random doodles on her to take her mind off the pain, but I didn't think she'd be up for that. I mean, I think the man mowing just above the lady area, little man, little stick man pressing pulling a lawnmower. I thought, I can do that. That's a classy tattoo. What's the matter with you? Yes. So anyway, so today, kind of like I think by the time I got back, it was about 6, 7 hours today. It's from patient transport picking me up. And they were going to arrange to bring me back, but they wouldn't have been able to have brought me back till gone 4 o'clock. And like I say, they pushed forward. They had an opening because obviously there's no specific MS consultant at Derriford at the moment, or I'm not aware of. So like I said, I saw a couple of other neurologists and a junior consultant. Um, I kind of near as damn it told Kay anyway. I'm not very well. It's not looking particularly great. I'm taking a lot of damage uh, upstairs. The inner battle, like it has always been my inner battle. I guess this is my final one last fight against it. So I'm up for it. Like I said, I've got London to look forward to. I'm hoping to God that I go out with Johnny. We were hopefully planning to go for a drink on Saturday, but obviously he's kind of like all over the place at the moment as well. I think. Um, it's really sad that I can't support him more. But I think with him being where he is and me being where I am, it being more difficult for me to go and see him, and his flat's not accessible. It's just kind of like this gummy illness and power chair, which I feel tied to, and but it gets me around. It lets me go out and buy the bread, lets me go out and go and have a drink with my friends, go and take my fiance out for dinner. All these things it can do. So I'm certain, I'm not going to bite the hand that feeds me or, be ungrateful. But, I just feel sometimes that it's kind of, I don't know, it just feels like a bit of like a millstone on my neck. You know what I mean? Like I can't, like, I feel like, Rod Holonemia, you're just not one without the other, but yeah. And I guess that's been my inner struggle for the last year is transitioning to becoming a power chair user, and all the different ways of things that affect me, like what I have to plan now with curb drops, and the things that people take for granted. I have to like seriously think about these things. um and and yeah, I'm pretty poorly, but you know keep smiling, and we'll be fine. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. Like I say, hopefully exciting things ahead in the distant, not too distant future, hopefully. Unfortunately, time is not our ally. Uh, Before I go any further, I'd just like to say, whoever my new subscribers are, welcome. Sorry, my hair's a bit of a mess because obviously I'm sweaty. You don't want to know. You don't need to know this, all right? You don't need to know. So anyway, yeah, get to the boring bit. I need you guys. I need you guys to get awareness of this channel around. Because don't think of it that you're doing it for you or your family or your friends. Think about it. You're doing it for their friends, for their families. You know, how do you know? You know that it's the whole butterfly effect, isn't it? From a little tiny little flap of the wings could affect like a tsunami in Japan. It's a proven thesis, I believe. Why am I talking about that? Anyway, never mind that. Um, so little little acorns grow. From little acorns grow great oaks. And to be perfectly honest with you, I would absolutely love to go viral or go just I don't know. All of a sudden, like click on YouTube and I've got like 1,000 viewers, thousands of views on my I mean, there's some of my films, they've got like in the hundreds views. So people are sharing some stuff. Um, what I guess I would like to ask you is that like when I because hopefully you'd have watched this video and you would have got the link for it. So please just share it on your timeline so that your friends, your family see it and maybe they watch it and think, oh my lord, I didn't know that, or I didn't think about that, or oh my god, I know somebody in that crisis. People. I mean, I'm celebrating. Is it 2.5 years sober now? So I'm over 2.5 years sober now. Um, did we think that would ever happen? Honestly, 5 years ago, no. No, no chance. I'd have told you go to hell. I'd lose everything rather than drink. I would have been willing to do that. I would have been willing to have lost Kat, which is without a doubt the love of my life. She is without a doubt the love of my life. I can honestly say I have feelings for her that I have never felt before, but kind of they are familiar, and that goes into a whole different spirituality kind of. Do you believe in soulmates and meeting the one and everything? And actually, I do. Me and Kat do. We believe that there is somebody out there for you that that you will be with at some point in your life, and it'll either work this time or it won't. And I guess this was our lucky time to shine. We got lucky. We found each other. We found each other late in life. Um, and now mine will be taken early, and we don't get to be that laughing old grandparents, on the street. When you like kind of like you're walking down through town and while you're dodging all the immigrants and drug dealers and drug addicts, homeless, crackheads, general scummy drunk people in the middle of the no, not even the middle of the day. I think I was in town 8 o'clock the other day, and there was somebody absolutely leathered at 8 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, my God, that was me. That was my life. And do you know what? I don't look at people like that now and think, oh, what an absolute scumbag. Look at the state of you at that time in the morning. I don't feel that way. I feel what's going on inside in your life that's so bad. What is so bad in your life, or what is hurting you so much that you choose to be obliterated and forgetting the pain that you're going through, because that's why you drink. Usually you become an alcoholic, and I don't know, I've only heard, I mean, I have heard other people's opinions from from beings so celebrating sobriety. So I don't know. With me, I guess I don't know. I guess love conquered. I guess love conquered. Um, with the help of my left leg. Um, and that's when I had I thought I had so many amazing friends in my life when I was drinking. I mean, I really did. I thought everybody was my mate. Oh, God, here comes Bake. So happy to see him. Yeah, come on, let's ring him up, get him down. And actually, when I go for a non-alcoholic beer now, and I'm in the pub, and I'll spot like the loud one of the group or something, and the one that's just off his face, and on whatever it is, he's off his face on these days. And I just think to myself, my God, that was me for 30, no, not 30, yeah, 30 years. That was me for 30 years. I was doing that for nearly 30 years of my life. Um, yeah, yeah, I was that person for 30 years. And I question why I've got a string of failed long-term relationships. Um, yeah, yeah. I guess I chose wisely, unwisely. I've chosen wisely now, and you know what? If I died tomorrow, I'd die happy knowing that I spent 7 years with the one that I love. Because me and Kat now have been together 7 years. Can you believe that, guys? 7 years, right? She would have got less for absolutely smothering me with a pillow. Like, I still think she seriously wants to do sometimes anyway. Especially when I'm like completely manic and like sort of absolutely prattling on. A bit like when I do these videos, actually, guys. This is pretty much a general what goes on in my head. I don't particularly plan to do anything. I felt I had to do one today with news from the hospital. I kind of thought I wanted to get a few things down on how I'm feeling. How am I feeling? I'm fucking destroyed, if I'm honest, guys. Absolutely fucking destroyed. Um, but yeah, it's it. I guess I keep saying it, and I hate it, but I guess it is what it is. It's what else can I do? I can't change it. Can't change the illness. Can't change the progression of the illness. Can't change how my immune system is just like Swiss cheese. You know, pretty much disgusting. But I pretty much have to take Imodium either most of the time or none of the time, because either the morphine's working or I'm like just like a uncapped oil well. And just think of it like that. And that is all you need to know. So it's crazy. It's crazy. So the outcome of today's meeting was that they want to try a steroid. So I have to make that decision by Friday, because if that's the case Friday, then the district nurse will come and administer it. But obviously, that's something I want to talk through with Kat. What's tomorrow? Friday? Oh my God, Friday! Not no, not this Friday. It's next. What's the date? Yeah, no, next Friday. That's all right then. So yeah, I guess I'll be doing a bit of research on steroid use. The legal steroid use. I'm not suddenly going to become you know hench. I think that's what the kids say now. Gadang, gadang, gadang. My God, really, my God, I am my dad. No, actually, I am not my dad, but you know what I meant. The dad behaviour, even though my father's behaviour is kind of opposite to the kind of thing a father should do, really. Maybe scratch all of that. Yeah, this is saying, I'm sure, yeah, yeah. But yeah, no, never mind. Oh, I just brought up a load of deep shit that has in my head now. Oh dear. As you can tell, I'm feeling a little manic. But I don't know, I'm manic, but I'm just. I guess if I'm honest, I guess I'm getting tired. I'm getting tired of fighting every day, waking up every day, and it's just being a fucking battle. Cat knows. Cat feels it every day as well. She knows exactly how I feel, because she feels exactly the same. So we both just suffer in silence. Because everyone thinks that, that cancers are made up in her head. Well, it's a bit medical, but yeah, no, it's a lot medical. Like I say, I'm the one that brushes the tears off her cheek, at 3 a.m. Nobody else does that. And why should they? Because that would be weird. But you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Um, and if I'm honest, guys, it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart that I know she's suffering the same pain that I am. So I literally know how she's feeling. Uh, yeah, and I guess that's a hard pill to swallow. If I'm honest, I guess there's a lot of I guess there's a lot of negativity around at the moment, especially in my life. Um, Kat's doing her best to keep me positive, and I don't know, guys, just really struggling. If I'm honest, really struggling. Um, I always said when it became too much that I would be nipping to Switzerland and not come back. Jokingly. Um, but today, when I first got the news, I was going to book the tickets there and then. Um, and then I had a conversation with my berry nosed baby girl, and and she turned the shittest day this year into the greatest day this year in one fell swoop. That's how amazing she is, that she could turn that upside down like that. And that's what she means to me. She's just the most amazing person in the world, and yeah, I guess I guess I am lucky that I found her and that we've had 7 years. A lot of people don't even get 7 years. Look at, there's young couples, they get married, young families, and then, like, the mum or the dad sort of dies, and you think, my God, then they've got to struggle with a widow, a widower, or a widowy, or whatever they call it, a widower. If you're a widower, and young children, without a mum or a dad. And, it must be absolutely heartbreaking for them. So, I guess what I'm trying to say is with me and Kat, we've had a good run. We've had a good run. Nobody thought we'd get this far. Let's be honest. I don't think anybody that knows us thought this would last. Um, but I don't know. She makes me happy and proud to be me, and she helped me stay strong when I needed to be. And now I'm going to repay that favour, and I'm going to, my best of abilities, look after her when she's struggling. And I guess that's what a relationship is, isn't it? It's working with your partner. You know, if one's always take, and one of you's having to give. The person who's giving eventually will just get, a little bit a bit fed up of it, if I'm honest. Probably a bit more than a bit fed up, but you kind of get it. So anyway, so this is kind of a bit of a somber video, really. Obviously, on the scratch for like, shares, subscribes would be great, guys. Haven't really got that many subscribers compared to how many views I'm getting, so you know, if you just like press the button up a little bit and highlight subscribe, hit that. It doesn't cost a penny. It just gets me into the algorithm a bit more, and maybe spread this message out. Maybe some young 25-year-old who's in a young family, heads messed with PTSD and childhood trauma. Maybe me talking about these things and saying that if you're feeling this way, actually it's quite normal to feel that way. forever I felt so angry at myself that I was angry about everything. And I guess at 54 this year, at 54, I guess I realised that carrying anger doesn't help. It doesn't help anyone. I'm not angry with anyone in my life really. Not even Kelly. Not even Emma. I'm not angry. I'm disappointed. Disappointed it didn't work. I'm disappointed. I don't know, but knowing that I'm now with Kat, I I I realised that they just weren't meant to be, and with some of them, with both of them, I should have read the flags, and I just, when you get that voice in your head and it's telling you you're right. Look, this is completely rational. What you believe in is right. It's right. It's right. But you don't. It doesn't. It doesn't. The message doesn't get through, and yeah, I don't know. I don't know is the question. Is the answer? I mean, the question is, what's 843,621 times 941 million? I now wait for somebody in messages to text the number because they've got the calculator out. They're rewinding back to the bit I've just said. They're writing it down. Now they're doing it. Somebody any minute now on my web feed is going to put, go on. You're loving it, ain't you guys? You loves it. So anyway, so before today, like I say, last couple of weeks, with Leah being back home, Cat's reverted back to, you know, uh, mum again, like, needs his mum. So, I get that. I totally understand that. Like I've said in pretty much most of my videos at some point, I do say that when me and Kat first got together, I knew that she came with a she wasn't just her. It wasn't just her. It was her, the kids, her family, everyone. Um, and to be honest with you, when something like that happens, that gets me straight away. It happened with both Emma and Kelly. Um, I just I fell in love with the family. The family welcomed me in, treated me as a son. I don't know. I guess from what I went through for 13 years, kind of think, you're never gonna. Well, I guess I never knew what a proper loving family was. I mean, my grandparents, God bless their souls, did their best with me. But my grandfather was quite authoritarian, and he used to cane me. Um, and my granny and my nan, my papa she was just, stay at home, and, everything was, washed and ironed, and, and fire was made, and dinner was cooked, and beds were fresh, and all these things. And as we all know, now we're all adults. When you're 17, you think it all magically does it itself, but guess what? It doesn't. I guess it took me a few years to realise that. So for my grandmother, that was her. I guess that was her job, looking after the house of my grandfather and me. If you think about it, she was well into her 60s. She was well into her 60s when, yeah, yeah. I'm sorry. So I kind of sidetracked. I was trying to think the exact age. I can't remember. I can't remember. But my grandfather was younger than my grandmother. My grandmother was a cougar. Never really thought my grandmother was a cougar. In fact, scratch that. Let's rewind and edit that before this goes on. Damn, it's live. Oh, well, it's out there now. Um, so anyway, my darlings, sorry it's a bit of a downer video. I guess kind of just disillusioned with life in general. Um, Obviously, the country is in total upheaval. Um, I mean, I think we started to see the cracks of multiculturalism finally breaking, as we all know. You know, if you kind of bust in a lot of people and you stick them in one area and they don't want to learn and be part of this country, it starts giving people leverage and power and easy places to take, as it were. But who knows? Who knows, really? Um, and Andy Burnham, MP, as looking like he's going to be sliced in as PM. Now, I don't know how you feel about this, but we didn't vote him in. I think there should be a general election, simple as that. Get these bastards out. But we know he won't. He's a coward, and all he wants to do is be in charge of the country. That's how he comes across to me. It's personal opinion, probably a really nice guy, but just looking at Manchester, he was the mayor of Manchester, and I see videos from it every day, and if that's his legacy and that's what he wants to bring to the country, then God help us all, is all I'll say. If you don't believe me, try looking at some of the bloggers that do Manchester. DeMarco, Knockout does it occasionally. All those Cozzy does Manchester. Is Cozzy banned from Manchester? I think he's back in now. But all these guys, get them watched, get them following. They're good young lads, deserve all the support they can get. Getting called a lot of shit at the moment, grifters and all this crap. Making money off other people's misery. You know, that's such a lefty thing to say. They're not making money off people's misery. They're making money off showing the truth. And the narrative is, all the time. I'm just, I mean, to look at me, come on, let's face it. I look like a right wing knuckle dragging thug. Um, that's got no brain cells and believes that I'm superior to everyone else. Well, I'm certainly not the one doing that. I'm certainly not the religion in this country portraying that. Um, Obviously, we have to be careful about what we say. We can't go into too much detail, but like I say, Andy Burnham for PM is looking like a dead set with Sweeten basically backing him. I guess that sounds to me like that was a backdoor deal. Get a place on the cabinet if you back me. Come out the polling because you're too much of a threat. This is the kind of person Andy Burnham is, and I don't know if I want that for the man that represents me as the head of the country. Well, not the head of the country, obviously, because we've got the king, but for the deal, the matters of the country. But what do you guys think? What do you feel about it? I mean, do you think that? I think we're all agreed that legal migration is a great thing, and it's put the great in Great Britain. Let's be honest. Our ability to go and just what we gave to this world. Britain and Britons. We're amazing, absolutely amazing place. And the only place you'll find those kind of Britons is in Britain. You know, we don't want to be forced out. We don't. We I quite like being English. I quite like living in England. Yes, as you well know, I'm a second generation refugee from the war, from World War II. So there's certain parties that are a little bit. Well, I'm talking about the ethno nationalists. These guys, like sort of anybody that's just not remotely British at some point, whether it's their great aunts, uncles, best friends, dogs, uncles, dinners, friends, mum. If it was them, yeah. Do you know what I mean? Then oh, that they went for a day trip to France, right? Okay, deport the old lot of them, send them back to France. And so and the worrying thing is that there are these parties, and they are gathering momentum. I think that the neo nationals are definitely the Antifa of the right wing. I think they spread not a good message, if I'm honest, guys. And certainly not one. I mean, like I say, I alone, would be on a. Where would I be on a plane back to? I guess Poland. I guess Warsaw. I guess that's where I'd go back to. I don't know though. I mean, what? I mean, but that's kind of like on the spin of my God, what happens if nationals got in? I mean, and never say never. We never thought we would ever see I never thought I'd see a worse prime minister than Thatcher, and Starmer was. He didn't endear himself to me very well, I'm afraid. If I'm honest, not a fan. In fact, actually, I think he is a bit of a lost soul. But there we are. Where's lost his job? Anyway, as you well know, I serve for this country, and I can start to see in this in communities in mine alone, say Plymouth, I'm starting to feel lines being drawn up. Do you know what I mean? Like just the feeling of it. It's like kind of like, oh, don't go down that street. It's a bit, oh, there's a what's the name there where that happens and this happens and all the drunks are there, all the crackheads are there, all the homeless are there, all the ex-vets sleeping rough are there, and they've all got their own little places to be, and I don't know. It just feels like it's starting to be drawn up. It feels like I feel we are being funneled in to them and us, left and right. That's what they want. While they're doing this, they're sneaking so much stuff in the back door. Look at what they did with halal food, in schools and stuff. That I mean, well, that's crazy. That surely, how can you appease like such a small percentage if they are such a small percentage of the population of Great Britain? How can you do something to appease them? How powerful are these people really? This is the question we should be asking. How deep does this go? How far in are they already? You know, what do you guys think? You've got the messages on. Hopefully it's working. I seem to be having all sorts of techie folk problems. But I don't know. I just kind of think that I mean, who is there? There's nobody. The problem is, that everyone's saying, "Oh, but get a general election, get a general election." Look how many people don't vote. The problem is, if we don't vote, we can't make change. All right. If you want everyone out, just get them out. All the rapists, all the murderers, all the terrorists, everyone, they get them, boom, on a train, on a bus, to the station, put them on a plane and send them on a one-way trip back home. Get back there. Are you in Libya? Beautiful city now. Right, go back there now. Go back to this country. I mean, go back to Libya. Right, let's fit to live there. This place is winning now. That's spawning a lot of interest. Why are they not going? No, because they've got it easy over here. They get a life of benefits. They get a house. They get everything paid for. Who wouldn't? Who wouldn't? I don't know how they do it because I hate being mostly bedridden. I hate it. I wish I had something in my life other than cat at weekends, other than I game all the time. My computer is right in front of me. I'm doing this. Hello. So I'm forever, I'm forever, I'm forever gaming. So I'm always gaming. I'm always social media. Um, yeah, not much of a life really, guys. If I'm honest, it's a bit sad. I don't really have anyone in my life that I do anything with. Johnny, like I say, is so far away, and he's really struggling with what he's going through, and it's difficult for us to meet up. And of course, Si's got his restaurant, and now it's summer, so it's going to be slammed. With food that good, it's going to be slammed. I guarantee it. Once people start getting in there and trying it, they're going to be like they'll spend the week there trying going through the menu because he is an amazing chef and should really really be supported by all of us. So get down to Size Barbecue on the barbecue. And I suggest you get the big meat box of stuff. It's amazing. There's like belly pork ribs, there's brisket, burnt ends, chicken. Oh my, it's amazing. Homemade potato salad, homemade coleslaw, homemade partridge in pear tree. Yeah, guys, amazing. Get down to Barbican. Get down there as soon as you can. Get down there, get a sport in him, get the food eating. So good luck, Si, for the summer. Hope you smash it, bro. Um, yeah, so that's that. So I think I've come to the end of this video. Really, I've been plugging on, not realising that for 45 minutes. I think. I don't know. Let's have a look. 43. Yeah, 41 minutes. I've been waffling on. Probably time for me to shut up because you're probably all sick to death of me. Um, so anyway, yeah, like I say, yeah, not a good day, but cat made it better as ever. So um, on that note, I'll say goodbye. Thanks very much for watching. Please like, share, subscribe. Subscribe, it's free. Please, watching these videos, subscribe, like them, get in the algorithm. Then you never know if you think you want to save somebody's life from the life I've led. If you don't want that for somebody else, that somebody you know or somebody that you know, somebody you know knows. I'm not saying it's But get sharing these videos. They're important. I love doing them when I do get around to them, and I always stress about it and think, oh God, I've got nothing to talk about. So I just talk about what's on my mind that day, what's going on with everything, and that's how random life is for me. It's one day I'll be thinking about that, next day I'll be talking about something completely different, and there's no correlation between between the two. It's just I'm so random all the time. Like I could be talking about one thing and then I burst into a song about strawberry jam or something. And if you'd like me to do that too for personal viewing, I am available to rent via webcam chat. And I will flash my boobies, which are no longer boobies, unfortunately. So I'm not fat fat anymore, or not so as fat. Um, So on that note, I'd like to say thanks very much. It's been lovely spending time with you. So if you've sat all the way through this, well done. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate your views. Yeah, let me know what you think. Let me know if you think think I should like carry on with just generally doing this shit, or if you think it just maybe make your life a little bit nicer once a week, once a fortnight, once every month, that you sit through half an hour in it, or today 45 minutes. So I've loved spending time with you, so thank you. So to all my new subscribers, hiya, thank you very much. Welcome to the channel. Please look back at the back catalogue. I think there's over 50 videos that have been made. Some as short as 10-15 minutes, maybe shorter, one or two anyway. And the rest are around about 20 minutes to 40 minutes. Some longer when I talk about really deep, heavy stuff like abuse of children and the life that I led through that. But like I say, I do speak in depth about that in other videos. Please give them a watch. So on that note, thanks very much for watching. You've been fabulous. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.